Hello guys and welcome back to another weekly What I've Watched. Without further ado, let's get the old screen recorder on so you can see what I've watched. Okay, so we started the week on Monday, which was the 11th, with a movie called The In-Between. I might move that this way a little bit. So, The In-Between. This is a movie I think that popped up on Netflix. So, after surviving a car accident that took the life of her boyfriend, a teenage girl believes he's attempting to reconnect with her from the afterworld. This to me very much felt like a desire to replicate the movie Ghost, which I adore. I think it's an awesome movie. This, now I do like Joey Keane, who stars in this. It is a movie that probably will appeal to teenage girls. I can't see this being one that appeals to males at all. I thought it was okay. I thought it was passable. There were little bits that didn't make much sense, that didn't tie together very well. I gave it a 2.5 out of 5. It is what it sounds like. They have the relationship, the lad dies, and she thinks that these signs that she's seeing is him reaching over from the afterlife to her. So I give it a 2.5 out of 5. I would say it's okay, but I don't think most grown adults will get an awful lot from it, to be honest. 2.5 out of 5. The next evening on the 12th, I finally watched Jackass Forever. Okay, let me scroll up. There you go. There's some. Actually, there's lots more people. This is a movie that you're not going to watch unless you know what you're getting in for. You're either going to enjoy this kind of thing and find it funny, or you're going to find the whole thing extremely juvenile and ridiculous and you're not going to like it. I tend to fall into the juvenile find it funny camp. So this is obviously a movie following the Jackass team, who are renowned for doing ridiculous pranks that generally involve really badly hurting one of them or all of them, and a lot of the time involve hurting them in rather delicate places. This is not for the squeamish. This is not for children in any respect. There is a lot of nudity in this. There's a lot of very close-up male genital nudity in this. I don't know what other way I can put that. It's very funny. There are bits that are like really shocking, like injuries that they get. I don't know why they do it to themselves. It's ridiculous. The things these guys are willing to do in the name of a laugh, just my mind boggles. I think I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. I did. It's funny. It's juvenile. If you like stupid juvenile, silly humour, and you're not really very easily squeamish, then you'll probably enjoy it. It very much is what you expect, what you're going to expect going into to watch it. On the 12th, I watched Coco de Coco Da. Let me give you some scores there. Okay, I first became aware of this on Spooky Astronaut's channel. She did say it was very weird, it was very surreal. I will tell you, I didn't like this. This is a movie that follows a couple that have undergone, I think I spoke about this, I did, in my Threes of Me weird films. A couple have gone through a tragedy together, and they go away together camping to see if they can reconnect, rekindle their marriage. And while they're there, something quite weird happens. They get stuck in almost like a Groundhog Day of sort of thing, where just the same stuff keeps repeating over and over and over again. What keeps repeating is really weird and surreal, and everything is tied together to this child's music box. I don't know if, as a couple goes on a trip to find their way back to each other, a sideshow artist and his shady entourage emerge from the woods, terrorizing them, luring them deeper into a maelstrom of psychological terror and humiliating slapstick. So that maybe gives you more of an idea as to what's going on. This is never explained. The people being there are never explained. Why they're doing the things they're doing is never explained. Please don't think you're going to get something like Eden Lake. Hello, Dobby. You're not. It's not that kind of thing. It makes no sense. It's very surreal. It's very weird. And I just am not a fan of that kind of thing, Dobby. I'm not. No. So I've given it a 1 out of 5 and said art for art's sake, dull, banal, surreal and bloody awful, uninteresting and uninspiring on every level. Now, in saying that, I know a couple of people, Jules and James Millership, both watched this and both really enjoyed it, and I think Emma watched it and really enjoyed it, so that could very well just be me. I don't tend to like very surreal, weird stuff. I don't, Dobby. I don't. So, on the 13th, you probably can't see Dobby because my thing's up. On the 13th, I watched The Innocents. So, 4 children become friends during the summer holidays, and out of sight of the adults, they discover they have hidden powers. While exploring their newfound abilities in the nearby forests and playgrounds, their innocent play takes a dark turn and strange things begin to happen. Okay, so only one person has seen that and they haven't rated it. This is, I think, Swedish. This is exactly what it said. There are 4 children. Some of these children are altogether thoroughly unpleasant, nasty little brats. There is animal cruelty in this, which is awful. This movie didn't tie together very well for me. There was no reasoning behind things that were happening, powers that these children had, where they came from, why they had them, what was going to happen in the future after the movie. It's just a study of childhood innocence mixed with just a complete lack of any sort of empathy or knowledge about wrongdoing, or implications of their actions. Not all the kids are this way, but a couple of them are. Now, while I wasn't a big fan of the movie, I will say the performance by the children is absolutely fantastic. It is quite a dark, unsettling movie. It probably will appeal to people that like this kind of thing, that doesn't really seem to be going anywhere and doesn't really seem to be giving us any answers as such, but it's just making us feel that uneasy, dark, unsettling sort of vibe. What did I give it? I gave it a 3 out of 5. I said, this is a weird one. The child actors are incredible, but this is a thoroughly unpleasant movie that provides no answers to many questions you'll have after giving it 2 hours of your time. It's very slow and seems cruel for cruelty's sake. I'm torn with whether I'd recommend this one, but I have to commend the performances. So basically that, I would say watch it and be prepared for just cruelty for absolutely no reason, and kids that make you want to just chuck them off the tallest high thing. But other than that, I'd say yeah, if you know what you're getting in for and it sounds like something you would dig, then give it a go. On the 15th, I watched Choose or Die. Right, this is one I first became aware of. Oh dear, look at those scores. I first became aware of after seeing it pop up on Shawn from Lost in the Reels channel, and then a couple of other people had reviewed it. It was coming on Netflix as a new horror. Obviously I had to give it a go. The basic premise here, I will read this to you. Oh dear me, what was that? In pursuit of an unclaimed $125,000 prize, a broke college dropout decides to play an obscure 1980s survival computer game, but the game curses her and she's faced with dangerous choices and reality-warping challenges. After a series of unexpectedly terrifying moments, she realizes she's no longer playing for the money but for her life. Okay, so that sounds awesome, doesn't it? Go check out Shawn's review. Now, usually every week what I do is at the end of my video, I will link to someone else's video. One of my friends or someone I'm subscribed to. If I feel it's a video, worth you watching, I'm going to link you to Shawn's review from Lost in the Reel this week for his review of Choose or Die. It's very in-depth. He never gives spoilers, but you know exactly what you're getting into when you watch Shawn's reviews. So this reads really well, and I think this had the potential to be excellent. I love those old 80s games. When I was a kid, I used to read books where you had to, if you want to make this choice, turn to this page, but if you want to make this choice, turn to this page. I loved all that kind of thing. I'm a little bit young for those kind of computer games where you had to make the choice, but I'm aware of them, I love them, I like the whole concept. There were aspects of this that I absolutely really enjoyed. The idea behind it more so. As Shawn actually said in his review, we have different levels in this game where you have to get to the final boss battle, and there are only 4 levels. I really feel this could have benefited from being a series, and I think Shawn maybe said this as well. We could have had a 10-part series and had 10 levels, put a bit more thought into this. I think they had the concept of a really good idea. They had a really good idea. Also, what's his name? Where is he? Robert Englund's in this. Eddie Marsan, that's who I'm looking for. Eddie Marsan is a British actor who I adore, and he's in this. We start the movie with him. He's the initial first person that's playing this game. I love him. I was watching something this week that I'll be talking about that stars him. He's a fantastic actor. Robert Englund, put your fingers in your ears and you'll miss it. You don't even see him. So don't watch it because Robert Englund's in it, please. I would say give it a go. I don't think it's absolutely terrible. I don't think it's the worst thing you're going to have seen. I think it's a very bog standard, average movie of this kind. Kind of like the escape room movies, which, aren't that good either, but have the potential to be amazing, but kind of have wasted that potential. So I gave it a 2.5, and I said average basic horror that had a great premise, which it didn't fully explore. It could have been executed much more thoroughly in a 10-part series, one game level per episode. As it, and I've spelt it wrong, as it was just over as it was getting interesting. It passes an 1.5 hours, and I've seen much worse. So that would be my viewpoint of choose or die. Same evening, The Station Agent. Okay, so I am going through a Peter Dinklage phase. I've always loved Peter Dinklage acting. Obviously, I first became aware of him, like everyone else, as Tyrion in Game of Thrones, who is my favourite character I think that's ever been invented. I love the character. I've been watching a lot of stuff that Peter Dinklage has done ever since. Cyrano, I cannot talk to you enough about how much I love that movie. So someone recommended The Station Agent to me, because he's in it. So this is going back to 2003. Some week I will get through this without something. Loneliness is much better when you've got someone to share it with. When his only friend dies, a man born with dwarfism moves to rural New Jersey to live a life of solitude, only to meet a chatty hot dog vendor and a woman dealing with her own personal loss. Okay. Everyone in this is excellent. The performances are all fantastic. I really, really warmed to Peter Dinklage's character. To all the character, Michelle Williams' character in this is so sweet. I just wanted to see more. I didn't feel... This is like a little snapshot in time into someone's life. Nothing really happens. This is just about this guy moving, he meets people, they form a friendship, that's it. Nothing else happens, it doesn't go anywhere, it ends and you're like, that's it? And nothing has happened. It's sweet, it's beautiful, it's lovely to watch, but there's no real rhyme or reason for it, I suppose. I suppose he's allowing people in. He wants to be really like closed off, and he doesn't want anyone anywhere near him at the start of this. And by the end of the movie, he has allowed people into his life. So I suppose that's probably the premise. So yes, I love the performances. I love the characters. Would I say it's one of the best things I've seen Peter Dinklage in? No. I did give it a 3.5 because I cannot fault the performances. It was really sweet. I said the cast did a great job with what they were given, but we needed to go a little deeper and have a further 30 to 45 minutes of runtime to really take advantage of the performances that were given here. Peter Dinklage is amazing as always, Michelle Williams is unbearably sweet, and I would have loved to have seen more of her story. I just wanted more than we were given, and I did love what we got. So that was The Station Agent. So 16th, The Desperate Hour. This gets people give this really bad scores. So this is, what's this woman called? I forgot. Naomi Watts. So this is about a high school shooting in America. She plays the mom of 2 kids that are at school. She goes out for a run. She's miles away from home. She injures her foot or her ankle. I'm not sure which it was. And she finds via her phone that there has been a shooting at the local high school and her son is at school. She initially thought he'd stayed at home. She couldn't get him out of bed that morning, but she finds out later in the movie that he is indeed at school. She cannot get to the school. She cannot get through to her son on the phone. She finds her son is embroiled in the middle of all this. His life's at risk. So it's basically about an hour where she is trying to get from where she is to the school where her son is. She also has a daughter who she finds out is safe. I think that's pretty much a given. That's not a spoiler, as this is a high school shooting. Her daughter's a younger child. I felt this was really effective. I think I only gave it a 3. I did. As a mum of a son, this is something that would terrify me, and the thought of not being able to get there because I'm stuck in the middle of nowhere. I've injured myself. I can't run. I've got my phone, but I can't get anyone to come and pick me up. It's terrifying, and I feel Naomi Watts does portray that really well. It is classified as a TV movie, which I suppose it kind of is, but I felt that her performance was excellent. I really bought the story, the character, the fear, the mother's fear, and I suppose that it appealed more to me because I'm the mother of a son, so I could place myself exactly in her shoes. I knew exactly how she was feeling. So I said I think this one hits home with me as a mum to a son. The panic, the emotion conveyed was spot on. Yes, it is somewhat of a TV movie in style, but I enjoyed the subject matter and the performances were strong. So yeah, The Desperate Hour I would recommend. Dobby, honest to God. And on, what date's this? I'm going to have to go to my home screen to see what date it is. It's the 19th, so yesterday was the 18th. So 17th. The final one is Old. I did see this at the cinema. I watched it again because my husband hadn't seen it. I did enjoy this movie. I know it wasn't very popular. This is the one from Shyamalan where everyone is on a beach and they're aging. If you haven't seen it, I'm not going to tell you any more than that. When I went to see this at the cinema initially, I did not get the ending. I did not guess the ending. I thought the ending was really clever. I liked it. On a rewatch, I can see aspects where people are talking about the acting being stilted. The two lead actors are not supposed to have English as a first language, and I think a lot of what comes across is meant to be stilted. The angles a lot of people talk about as being really weird and blurred and out of focus. Again, all of that seems purposeful as far as I'm concerned, because even if you see the credits of the movie and you watch the credits at the end, what are they called? End credits? You can see that that's a purposeful decision. I'm a big Shyamalan fan. I hated The Happening, but I have enjoyed everything else that he's done. The Last Airbender, was he responsible for any of that? It was terrible. But anything else he's done I've enjoyed, and I did enjoy this, and I still enjoyed this on a rewatch. I don't think it's perfect by any means. Initially, when I watched it, I gave it a 4 out of 5. When I rewatched it, I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. So, yeah, I personally like Old. So, yeah, that's what I've watched this week. There is a little glimpse into what I watched yesterday and the day before. So I've got 4 movies in there in the last couple of days. I was hoping to go and see The Northman today, but my son's not going to be out with his friend long enough to give me time to get to the cinema, so I may go to see it tomorrow after I've seen my mum, if I get a chance. It's a long one, it's almost 2.5 hours, but it's filmed just up the road from where I live, or at least a massive portion of it is filmed on the north coast of Ireland, so I really want to see it to see what I can recognise. So yeah, that's what I have watched in the past week, folks. Oh well, I got a little piece of paper, I remembered it this week, with TV shows I've been watching. So, Ghost Adventures. Yes, I've been binging Ghost Adventures because I like that kind of thing. Old Enough. Right, this has got so much controversy surrounding it. This is a show on Netflix following Japanese kids of ages ranging from like 2.5 up to maybe 6. And they're sent on an errand, so they have to maybe go to a shop and pick something up, or go to bring something to their dad at work who's forgotten something. Now, people are saying this is unsafe, children are really young, they shouldn't be left. It's very clear when you watch this that these kids have crews of maybe 20 people following them really closely. They're not on their own, they're surrounded constantly by adults watching them. When you see it, you can see all the different adults being caught on camera because they all have cameras, they're disguised as bags, and like an electrician carrying like a little box, and there's a camera in it. A lot of the kids are quite smart and they catch on, but it is so adorable. These little kids and their manners, it's just adorable to watch. I love it. just, I don't know, I think in the West here we could do more of encouraging independence in our children. These little kids are like 2 and 3 and they're helping at home and they're doing stuff like peeling fruits and just doing things to help their parents. And the manners that they have, I mean, they're going out and someone helps them and they're like, arigato gozaimasu. And they're just, everything is just, oh my goodness. And the little nods of the head all the time, arigato gozaimasu. And they're just, I love them. So that's called Old Enough and it's on Netflix. It's a 20-part series. Each part is about 15 minutes long, and it just shows a different kid and their errand for that day. The Thief, His Wife and the Canoe, which started last night I believe, but I watched all of it on ITV Hub. It's a 4-part series in the UK and it covers the true story of John Darwin, who faked his own death to claim insurance money. I'm going to be doing a series, you know, the based on a true story thing that I'm doing. I'm going to be covering that actual series. Worlds Collide, the Manchester bombing. Terrible situation, obviously going back a few years to the Ariana Grande concert where there was the bombing. Now my husband has researched this at length. He sat through days and days and hours of the actual trial, and there is so much that this documentary omitted. So much information. I've said to him, you really should do a video about this. You know so much more than is being made publicly available. There's so much more to find out about the incompetence of that evening if you look for it, but if you don't look for it, it's not really readily available to the public. But a lot of really poor decisions were made that evening. So that was a 2-part series basically about the whole situation, but again it didn't go into anywhere near enough detail. And I think that's it. Yep, that is it for this week, folks. Still listening to the Serrano soundtrack, sorry to be terribly predictable. Also I'm listening to Rammstein quite a bit because my son's enjoying it, so sort of trying to introduce him to different stuff. Yes, I'm still playing The Sims and Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I probably will be playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla until I finish it, let's just be honest. So is there even reason for me to include this section? Probably not. So that is what I've been up to this week, folks. The dog now wants to go. Are you going or not? No. Yeah, so thank you for watching, folks. I shall hopefully have that video up later in the week about the Thief, His Wife and the Canoe. And I shall look forward to speaking to you guys next week, and hopefully I can let you know what I thought of The Northman and The Lost City, although I may put little short vlogs about those up anyway. Thank you for watching, guys. Over and out from Lisa Loves.